Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Coleman, one of your many hosts here for the Florida Aviation Network. We're coming to you live in the clear from the Sebring Regional Airport main terminal building, and we're at the 2019 U.S. Sport Aviation Expo. And wow, what a great expo! The day was perfect. Yesterday was a challenge. Good ground school day yesterday with low ceilings, a little bit of precipitation, or in Florida here we call that liquid sunshine. And we're here. Educate, innovate, and aviate is the theme that we have here for the expo this year, and our next guest kind of hits all those squares and new and innovative things here at the expo, and it's such a bright light to see out in the sky floating around. Susan, how are you, Susan?
Good. How are you? Thank you.
Susan, we have come to the point in technology, and that the old filament style landing light, uh, it's passe. It's lived its day, and now you're with Aero LEDs or
Aerolets.
LO LEDs.
Correct. Yes.
And what does Aero LEDs do?
So we design, manufacture LED landing, taxi, navigation lights for aviation, primarily aviation. We've also expanded out into the locomotive industries as well as some off-road. But our main passion is aviation. So
And Susan Calvin, Mr. Calvin, also works at Aero LEDs.
that is correct.
And it's just really interesting to see that you guys came all the way from Boise, Idaho, for our little area convention here, and it's always impressive because I've seen AeroLEDs quite a bit at other shows. So I got to hand it to you, marketing wise. You guys do get out and you spread the word.
Thank you.
Uh, and I know, and we've talked about this. There's a lot of different designs, different avenues to go for LEDs, but what sets AeroLEDs apart from some of the others, maybe? And then, not that they're all good. They all have good
Sure.
features and benefits, but what are some of the benefits that you would offer a potential buyer or customer to convert over to AeroLEDs?
Well, with Aerolets, our primary focus is engineering and engineering a product that is specific for aircraft. Um, our number one is to come up with a product that's going to be, not only is it going to be efficient, but it's going to help pilots be seen out there and be safe when it comes to LED technology. And so our focus is, that's what our focus is really the engineering behind it, making sure that the optics maximize the performance for pilots, so they're getting exactly what they need to be seen out there.
And it is very effective. I've got to admit, your wigwag
Yep.
and we actually use that in the runway safety program quite a bit for the whole short lights for your whole short line before you get onto the runway. They call them wigwags because pilots were just blowing through their whole short line and causing runway incursions, and bad things happen when that happens. But the wigwags are very, very effective. And I remember the first time that I ever saw a set of LEDs and coming in, I said, "Wow!" All you see is just this star like thing out in the horizon,
Right.
and then oh, that's an airplane. And it's really from the safety aspect. I'm going to say I'm going to go right out there, and it probably doubles the safety factor of in VFR, especially see and avoid. How effective are they at night for night vision or opening up an area that's you're normally used to a filament style light bulb?
Right. Well, the thing with LED is the color temperature. It's more of a blue-green color temperature. So when they're flying at night and they're coming in for a landing, they're going to actually see color. For an example, if they're flying in on a runway with a grass strip, they're going to see green grass as opposed to having everything grayed out with an incandescent. And with that, they're going to see more depth, have better depth perception as well. So from a safety standpoint, it's much more realistic coming in when you're flying. You're getting a much better visibility of what's around you and what you're flying into than you would with an incandescent.
How about and again back in my era, we had what we called telltale lights on the horizontal that that points up the tail at your logo or something. But I'm sure that you guys have something that's just very efficient. It sips power,
Right.
yet it'll light up a tail. And
We do. We have a light called the Starlight, and it's currently certified, and we call it a logo light, and it does a really nice job of giving you a very broad light beam to illuminate the logo on an aircraft. And so it's a plug and play. It's just a bulb that you plug in.
so it's in a standard fixture.
It's a standard fixture.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's
LEDs have come a long way. From the very
very
beginning.
much so, very much so. And I've been kind of trying to butter you up for putting a set on a nice, beautiful 1947 Republic CB
Right.
that I understand is in the mix. I might happen to know the person that's putting that together, but a set of your actually an entire entourage would be great on any airplane, antique, new. In the light sport, how many of the aircraft manufacturers use your LEDs?
Well, light sport, we're actually really, believe it or not, we're breaking into. We started off with experimental, we went into the GA, now we're expanding into business jet, and now we're really starting to develop a new light that we're going to be coming out with this year for the light sport specifically. It's similar to our Pulsar NS. It's a NAB position strobe, but it's a much smaller, more compact, and it will fit perfectly for a light sport aircraft. It's going to illuminate a lot of light, but it's going to be very compact. So we'll really be breaking into that market this year.
What type of weight are we talking about for that package?
Weight just for the NS?
Yeah, how much does it weigh?
It's light. It's a matter of ounces. It's just it's a very lightweight, very compact light. It's pretty. It's awesome.
That's great. What's the next thing? If you can talk about the future, where are you going to be going next? Because typically, the manufacturers, and particularly in your industry, all sorts of new innovative concepts coming up. What else can we expect to see Aero LEDs?
Well, with the technology, the LED technology, the diodes keep getting better and more powerful, and so we've recently come out with a new line of landing and taxi lights for the business jets and commercial airliners. So you'll probably see us moving more into that as we grow and get more certifications. So.
And we were talking before we sat down and went behind the camera. There's a total of 12 people in your company. That's remarkable.
Right. We're very efficient. We have a wonderful staff, and they do a really good job getting out there and growing our company. So
that's lean. Yeah. That's lean. And again, we're talking about efficiency.
Correct.
What is your efficiency? Do you have an efficiency meter or a scale on the amount of lumens as opposed to the amount of power? Now, your husband being an engineer, I'm sure he's right on top of that. You know everything about electronic efficiency.
Right. I don't know if we have a scale per se. The engineering department will probably be able to answer that better than I would. Our thing is just making sure that we have, lumens is a big deal, total light output, and then candela, getting enough candle power to where you get that light down the runway. The nice thing about that in today's technology with LED is we're actually able to compete with the HID now. Because of the diodes being so powerful and being able to power them the way we can power them, we can get that light down the runway and actually compete with an HID. And yet our overall power is much less than what you would find with an HID. So.
Well, and I've heard the term with LEDs, they talk about, how long do they last? Oh, they last forever. Right. I don't think anything really lasts forever, but what can you look at from a longevity standpoint? What type of service history can you come up with for your LEDs?
Well, the diodes that we use typically are rated at 30,000 hours of continual use. Initially, technically 50,000, but 30,000 when you consider all the extra components that you put into the light. We have a 5-year warranty with our light. However, the lights are designed to last much longer than that. We've had a lot of our lights that have been flying for 10 years out there and are still working. And so it's just, if you address the main issues with LEDs, which is heat and water, then the light should last. We always like to joke around saying the life of the airplane when you're dealing with GA aircraft or experimental aircraft. So.
Hopefully that's a long, long time.
It's a long time.
Particularly the ones that are going to be on this beautiful CB.
Right.
It's going to be around. But Uh, and the only way that I can field that question when somebody asks me, I'm an A&P, and they said, "What about these LEDs? And what's the benefit of an LED?" This is weight, power, longevity, and above all, obscurity. You're actually you're going to be out there. You're going to jump out to people.
Right.
Um, Conspicuity. That's what I'm looking for. I made up a word. I do it every time. But not obscurity, but it's confiscuity. And you know what I'm trying to say, Larry? Okay. Conspicuity, yeah. But it makes you very conspicuous coming up. So that's the reason I encourage folks to go to the LEDs in the airplanes.
Right. So the one thing with LED as opposed to incandescent is when you're in the wigwag, using that mode, the LED will come on immediately and it'll be very crisp and very bright. The incandescent will tend to come on slow and go off slow. And so when you're flying, you want to be noticed. And so with that crisp, quick LED coming on and going off, you're going to get a much more attention miles out when you have it in the wigwag motion. In broad daylight, it's much more noticeable. And so,
much more conspicuous.
exactly.
I like it. Okay. Well, Susan Calvin, thank you so much for your time. And I know that you're going to be busy, hopefully, out in the booth.
Yes.
And hopefully you get a chance to walk out and take a look at some of the other exhibits and some of their aircraft and hobnob. And I'm sure when they see your AeroLED's shirt and you have a little stack of business cards, that's hopefully the worth that you get of coming to a show like this, an expo, to spread the word.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to visit you.
It's always a pleasure, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds
I'll have my
good.
people call your people.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
You're very welcome.
Okay, we're going to wrap this interview up and go on to another one, and then sometime this afternoon I want to get out on the ramp and take a look at some of these other designs that we have going on out there. But anyway, AeroLEDs, I'm sold. See you later.